Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SMAdulting Chillcast. This is session 4. We've got an interesting topic this time. You are here with me, Shah, Joyce. Joyce, say hello. And she can say hello later. And
Hi.
Aina.
Hi.
Um, and we are very happy to be here to be discussing with you the idea of personhood and identity, and then we're just randomly going to be talking about navigating spaces and bathroom problems and unwanted and well-meaning medical or pseudo-medical advice from random people, also maybe family, that you don't want these things. I think we'll start with the unwanted well-meaning medical or pseudo-medical advice from random people. That is always an interesting thing to sort of jump into. I will start with my story. And it was kind of weird, and I think about this often because it has no real scientific basis at all, I feel. Um, went into a taxi. This is so many years ago, maybe 20 years ago or something like that. And the taxi driver was talking to me and he was giving me an opinion of how I should live my life because I have this disease, right? Spinal muscular atrophy. Man did not know what spinal muscular atrophy is, but felt it in himself to impart me knowledge that he knows in his golden years, in his wisdom. He looks at me while driving very dangerously. No, he was a very safe driver, this taxi driver. And he goes, you know what? My cousin, uncle also have the same as you. He did not. Um, it was this assumption that we have the same kind of disease. He doesn't even know what a degenerative disease is. Um, and he said that I should definitely not eat foods and proteins together. Like if you eat chicken, you only eat chicken in that meal. You cannot mix chicken and seafood. You cannot mix seafood and beef. You cannot eat the trifecta of animals because it is unhealthy. And I just sat there like, I'm 15. I'm sure. Okay. Just yes, okay. So I'm sure that Joyce, you probably have stories of people telling you what to eat, what not to eat, how you can get better.
I get that all the time, even from random people on the train. I think I got, I think I encountered one uncle on the LRT. I think last week on the weekend. I was on my way home, and then I just went into the LRT, and then he started coming towards me and standing in front of me, and started talking about, oh, you should drink this, you should take this herb and stuff like that, and I'm like, uh-huh. So I just keep quiet and just listen intently at him. And he went on for about, I think, 15 minutes. And then after that, it's pretty awkward because I did not say a single thing. He was the one who like drove the whole conversation. So he got off at last at another station, and I was kind of like relieved because it was very awkward. And I think he felt awkward as well because he kept like trying to continue with the conversation, but I wasn't answering. I was just nodding my head. I would agree to disagree. So yeah.
It's always like that, isn't it? Like you you look poorly to random people. We'll get to that topic when we get to that topic later this
And
evening.
it's like unsolicited advice. You didn't ask for it, but they just kind of like throw it at you because they think you need it.
I know, right? Like I didn't ask for this. Aina, do you have any stories?
Yeah. Um, we I always get this word of eat this supplement now. Okay, you want to try this? Why not try this? This is good for your body. This is good now. Maybe you can walk one day long. Maybe you can, maybe you get healthy. Maybe you are okay one day. So keep on trying this and this. There are so many brands out there, so they keep on, like trying to convince me to eat that, which I am not going to eat.
Yeah, they always want you to eat things. Like,
Yeah, they always ask us to eat things. Like,
and
like
it's
if you
weird.
eat this,
Like, I'm not
you're
saying that.
eating.
I'm not saying that some of the more traditional medicines do not work, but oftentimes, the people giving you these quote unquote medicines don't know how those things work in the first place, so they're just throwing
Yeah,
things at you, hoping it sticks. Um,
yeah.
I remember having to eat this fungus that the Chinese medicine uncle called deer antlers, and you had to boil
Oh,
it, and then you have to drink it. And I had to do it like for a
oh,
week, and it was terrible. And this is next
uh,
to, you know, those round black pills.
yeah.
This is on
Yeah.
the tabib,
Yes.
like ugh.
Oh my god.
I remember that taste, and every
You
time,
know,
uh huh,
for me, because due to my experience, for me, Chinese traditional medicine is kind of like 70% placebo.
mm-hmm,
So
Mhm.
I don't really like Chinese traditional medicine. I usually won't go for that kind of thing, no matter how sick I am, because I don't believe that traditional medicine has any effect whatsoever. Yeah,
mm.
I prefer Western medicine
Well,
over, traditional medicine.
for a lot of traditional medicine, it's based on what worked and what didn't. Um, to the people of that day, they didn't really have the scientific evidence on the specific compounds. It's also why things like kunyit, uh, which is what is kunyit in English? Uh,
Turmeric.
turmeric, yeah. Which is why
Yes.
turmeric is like super studied because it has been found to have certain properties that is healthy to the body, and the Matsale scientists and the other scientists who work on it pretty much isolated a chemical compound called curcumin. And that is the thing that sort of helps you, and the reason why kunyit is such a powerful sort of root. So when you look back to traditional medicine, there is always a compound in there that is helpful. Unfortunately, it may not be helpful in our specific case, uh, or it may not be helpful at all, or it might make us worse. We don't know. And they don't know either because they don't know what the active component is often. And I just don't like it. I appreciate their sentiment. They're just trying to help. And that is how we as a community have evolved to grow culturally, to to sort of care for one another in the, oh, I heard that this helps because it helped me. I'm going to be giving it to you so that it may help you, therefore making our community bond a lot stronger. Unfortunately, it doesn't work because this is a genetic disease. It's not like we
Yeah.
inhaled a virus.
True. And I think we know our body well.
That
We
is true.
ourselves know what is
And
good for us, what is not.
I think as you get older, especially kita kita kan, we're like, oh,
Mhm.
above 25, we have reached that age where we're just like, nope, nope, I know my body very well. I know that I shouldn't drink this, I shouldn't eat this, or I can eat a mountain of this and still be fine. So when somebody comes to us and say, "Hey, you need to try this," the sentiment is nice, but here's the thing: I already have, and you're not the first person to bring it out. That kind of thing. But in that kind of situation, you cannot say that to them because it's embarrassing for them. So you just have to like sit down and shut up.
Or just
Especially
say like, okay, I will try it later. Later, I'll try.
good,
Ah,
good. And then they will I understand the worry and the love that they have and just general they want you to be healthy. I
Mm.
get it.
I
And
usually choose to let the situation become awkward. Yeah.
I think
so
at this
that they will
point
shut up.
you are the queen of just making the situation get real awkward, and it's funny as
Yeah.
hell. People will
I
be
usually
just
make it awkward.
uh-huh.
I really like making people awkward when they start saying things that they don't think before they open their mouth. So usually the conversation ends in quite a very uncomfortable way because it usually ends with them shutting up themselves.
I think the difference between Joyce and I is I will actively sort of badger at you if I don't like what you're saying, or just like continuously just ask a question. Joyce will just look at you with doe eyes and watch you start burying yourself, like digging a hole deeper and deeper, and then see how you're gonna get out. It's actually quite hilarious.
Actually, there's been one time that I went for facial, and then the
Uh-huh.
lady next to the table, um, she was handling a patient. I think she was a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So her patient is, I think, probably a stroke patient. And then when she saw my caregiver carrying me to my wheelchair, she just opened her mouth and said, "Why don't you let her do it herself? You should try." And I'm like, excuse me. But I
Lady.
just kept, but I just kept quiet and ignored her, and she kept pestering the caregiver and as well as the physiotherapist who also ignored her. So I was kind of like, okay, I am so done. I am going to get out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just went off and let her kept on, talking about, oh, she's not trying and blah 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 and stuff like that.
I don't know how you do that, because I don't find it amusing when somebody accuses me of not trying hard enough. Like if somebody were to come at me and say, "Oh, you should do this for yourself." Like, look, I have tried every single day of my life to do things for myself. I like doing things for myself. I don't like asking for help. So for somebody to come at me and say, "Oh, you should try," I'm like, you know what I would like to try? Strangling you.
You know why I find it amusing? Because the level of ignorance
Mm-hmm.
people have when they open their mouths, it's like they don't care to ask. They just go straight for the judgment. So I usually find it amusing. I mean, I don't know if I'm twisted or what, but I usually won't waste my time trying to argue with this kind of people because I have stuff to do. I do not want to put my attention on people like that. It wastes my energy and my time. So I just usually walk off or I just stare at them. That's
Absolutely,
my way of
absolutely.
handling.
Yeah. I mean, can I
I
ask,
have zero
was
tolerance.
I I totally understand. Sometimes you just don't have the time, and you're like, you know what? Die. Um, can I ask, what was this lady? Was she also doing physiotherapy, or was she there with another person?
She was a caregiver, I think. Because she was handling a patient,
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
and yeah,
Oh.
so her patient was kind of like, uh, I forgot using the tilt table or something, and then she saw me getting off the tilt table, and then my caregiver had to transfer me to the wheelchair, right? So she opened her mouth and started, doing her errand kind of thing.
Mm. I don't know what possesses people to do that. Like, you are in the occupational physiotherapy center. You know
Physio,
that
physio.
your
Yeah, you should know
disease,
that.
yeah, you should know that your disease isn't the only disease here, that there are a plethora of other diseases. It's a hospital, and other people here are not exactly here for the same reason the person you are taking care of is here for. For example, somebody might be here for a stroke. With patience and practice and exercise and therapy, you can, I wouldn't say completely overcome a stroke, but you can move forward in your life. Spinal muscular atrophy is just regression. It's just a mad series of regression. There's no going forward when it comes to exercise. It's just trying to maintain a status quo, if you even can. So I get very offended when somebody assumes that they know the disease that we have. Like, yes, you're in a hospital, but doesn't mean that we have the same thing. Like
Which is
the
why I say
lived
ignorance.
yeah, the ignorance is there. Also, I think it's some kind of projection from them as well. They are feeling insecure about themselves, so they project it on us, assuming that they would do what we would do what they do in their situation. Do you know what I mean? Like if they were us, they wouldn't be trying as hard.
No, if they were us, I think they would have, just went for the quickest way of, finishing off themselves. I
They
don't think
can't.
they wouldn't even have the guts to, continue with what, we have like right now.
Yeah. I think for a lot of things, people project their worries and their insecurities onto us, which is what I don't like. And often it's just like, don't project yourself on me. What the hell?
I think it's more like judgment. They judge people because it's something that they can be in control of. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, feel in control when they judge people. I don't know, but that's the feeling they give me when they start judging me.
There
It's like
again,
I'm not. I'm like,
judgment is just a reflection of self. Your insecurities reflected on another person. That's what judgment is, because you as a person are insecure. I'm not saying you, Joyce, but you, the general, you, the human being. When you judge someone is because you see in them what you don't like about yourself.
Yeah,
oh,
that's why
so
people say like if you don't like something, just don't say it, or if you don't know, don't interfere with it. It's
Yeah,
better to
that's
keep quiet, or I prefer people not to be busybody
uh-huh.
or like simply giving advice without they
Mm,
don't know our condition.
uh-huh. Like I I am okay with people asking questions. I don't like unsolicited advice. Like if you want to ask questions like, oh, what happened to you? What's wrong with your legs?
Yeah,
Why you want a
questions
scooter?
are
I
okay.
can answer that because you're coming in from a position of I want to know what's going on with you, or why and how do I stop it from happening to myself? That kind of thing. I understand that most of the questions come from very curious people, and some of it comes from people who don't want to be in my position. I get it. But answering questions is a lot better than trying to field unsolicited advice. The worst is still medical advice. Like, I really don't understand. It's like, oh, you should take this pill and this drugs, and you should go to this tabib and get all the pills. And I'm like, I
Um,
have done everything. But I think the worst is when the more religious people in any religious denomination, it doesn't matter who.
yeah, I had that a lot last time. I mean, like, oh my god.
It's almost like that. They come up to you and they're like it's not like they can be Christian, Muslim, they can be Jew. They'll just come at you and either say, I will pray for you, or they will look at you and they will sort of judge you, look you up and down, squint, and go, oh, you have a jinn in your body. And I'm like, say what now? You have a jinn. You in your body resides an evil spirit. And I'm like, heck, I think you're just seeing my soul, lady. Damn. That's not a jinn, that's me. So this was so long ago, and it actually happened. Somebody sort of this religious healer type with the Quran and everything, with the beard, the kopia and everything, came up to my mom and said that there are spirits residing in myself and my brother, and that's why we are like this. And to sort of get that spirit away, you have to pay this person a rubbish amount of money, and also buy a black goat, like a pure black goat, and
Yeah,
sacrifice it to
I
Allah.
got that too.
And I'm
I
like,
got that too.
bro, kau
Oh my
tengah
god.
mimpi apa like what are you doing?
Yeah, I even, I mean, like, if for me, they asked my mom to buy, but telur itik, the gold egg, you know what gold egg lah? Seven something, seven eggs.
That
it's almost
And
the same like Chinese. It's the same for
yeah,
Chinese.
Like
Then you
have
have to get this blood chicken lah, something like that. Blood from the chicken. I don't know lah. All this
You know what?
nonsense.
We can do a movie like The Exorcism of SMA.
stores. Oh my god. Okay, okay. So continuing from that, sorry. So I have the black goat. Aina has the 7 chicken eggs and a black chicken and God knows what else. Water from a bathing
Yeah,
ant.
water. Mm-mm.
Uh, the dew from a flower in the hills of Kinabalu. I mean, the mountain Kinabalu. I don't
Yes, yes, I do get that also. And
know.
that kind of flowers, and you have to do it at night. You
Oh,
have
oh
to
yeah,
do
you
that
have
at
to do it
night.
in the moonlight.
I got that.
Very, very important. This for
I do not.
Hecate.
Yes,
Oh my
that happened
Uh,
on the specific time.
oh my God. Yes, they will specify like, okay,
Yeah,
you have to sit in the sun, but
yeah.
specifically from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock, and you have to read these
Yes.
ayats from this
I
particular
got that.
part of the Quran, and you have to repeat it like 5 times. And if you read the translation of the ayat that they're trying to tell you to read, it has nothing to do with you. Like it's like, what is this? What? This is about a cow. Um. So this other uh religious healer guy who was treating us at one time, and they like to pray into water that you have to drink and dilute. It's a really weird method of homeopathy that I find just completely strange. Um the guy said that inhabited in me, well, not in me lah, but the I have a penunggu, I have like a watcher, a protector that my family forgot to feed, so now it's feeding on me.
Oh.
And he sort of
Okay.
squinted and it did his little hoodoo thing, and he said, "The Watcher." It's very cinematic. The Watcher is standing over you right now. It's a he. It's a very large man, very tall, maybe 8 9 feet.
Wow.
He's in warrior garb, and I'm just sitting there like, bro, you should play Dungeons and Dragons. You're really good at storytelling. I will play in your game. Um, he looks like a warrior, and then he turns to my brother. He goes, you do not have a warrior on your back. Your lineage, um, you are more towards the more prominent section of your family members. So, uh, instead of having a warrior protect you, you are protected by a dragon. Oh, and I was sitting there looking at him like, bruh, can we like Pokemon this? Like, if my monster fights your monster, who would win? And we are just looking at each other like, this is wild. And another faith healer looked at the two of us and said, inside there is a giant snake, and it is coiled around her spine, mine and my brother. And every time we don't feed it with a very specific, I don't know what, like I was really young, it will constrict the spine harder and harder until you cannot walk. And I'm like, that nice try. Nice try.
And they get this, all this sort of like,
So so slowly I will just compile Pokemons. So I have a warrior and I have a snake. What else? Like, it's just wild. Like, I don't believe any of this. Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they need make believe stuff.
The science has proven that this is a genetic disease. This is what life does. It mutates certain things, and if the mutation is good, we keep it and we reproduce to make more and more of those mutations. It's life.
yeah,
Ugh.
but I think it's happened 20 years ago, right? 25, 20, more than
Mm,
20.
lama dah lah. It's so long
So
ago.
it does make sense lah. People doesn't know back then what is. I mean, like if people telling me that now, I will get angry. I will like, no way.
Yeah, as a
Who
child,
bullshit.
you have no autonomy, which we'll get to because we're going to be talking about personhood and your identity, and I think this ties in very well with that. Um, but before we sort of move into that, I do you have any other stories that you want to share with us relating to you know things you don't want people to tell you. Hantu lah, obat lah.
I think it's pretty similar experiences that we have. Typical,
Uh-huh.
you know. So I think there's not much of anything new because everything that you guys said just now is the same. I've seen it before, I've experienced it before, and it was just plain ridiculous. But as a kid, you cannot say anything because you cannot call the shots.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only just sit and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the worst thing that can happen is that when they talk too much stuff that doesn't make sense, there's no logic in it, and then your parents take it very seriously. Things can get abusive.
Mm.
Things
Did
can get
you?
abusive,
I thankfully did not.
and
Uh-huh.
violence.
It's really up to you whether you want to talk about this, but that sounds wild.
Yeah.
Mm, how they give your parents false hopes, and they
Mm-hmm.
promise your parents that you will be able to walk by 3 months and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
that's
when that kind
disgusting.
of thing doesn't happen, and when that kind of thing doesn't happen, where it ends up, where it goes. They won't blame it on the traditional medicine, but they will blame it on you.
See, that's what
So
I don't like. They do blame it on you when the treatment doesn't work because to them, to your parents or
yeah,
carers, they have tried this and they have believed the other person instead of believing in you, the person who is sort of living with this disease. And then you get sort of inundated with this idea of, oh, you're not trying hard
yeah,
enough.
that's the problem.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I have so much resentment because of that. Um, what about, I mean, running away from well-meaning medical advice? What sort of, I live my life on whether or not I need to go to the bathroom. Like that is most of the time what I think about whenever I go out. It's like, okay, how is the bathroom there? Can I go to the bathroom? Is there somebody who's gonna help me in the bathroom? Because I'm gonna be out for 8 hours and I need to pee, that kind of thing. How do you negotiate this?
Uh, Usually, when I go out, I won't drink water. It's
Mm-hmm.
like almost fasting, but without water only.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a few sips when I'm close to getting home,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. So I try to avoid going to the toilet in public because I don't like public toilets.
Mm-hmm.
It's dirty. I don't like dirty toilets. And three, I have OCD, which is like if I touch the toilet, it's like, oh my god, cannot, like I just cannot. But sometimes when emergencies happen, I have to go. So,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time, like 95% of the time when I go out, I don't drink water
I can't do that anymore.
unless
I
I'm
used
close
to
to
be
going
able
home.
to do that, but if I don't drink water, I become very sluggish and tired and my muscles seize up. It's like I need water to survive.
Or,
It's so
or
terrible.
Yeah, you get dehydrated. Yeah, you
I
get dehydrated and you take about 3 days. For me,
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
for me, 3 days.
Yeah.
mm,
What about you, Aina? Bathroom.
mine would be the same as like Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
I I try not to drink as much water, just only a few sips.
Mm,
And then I will check first if the toilet is okay, but accessible, then okay lah, okay to drink. If not,
mm-mm.
no, don't drink anything until you go home.
I really like. I think my friends have gotten the front row seats to Toilet the musical when they go out with me because they're the ones helping me go to the bathroom. So they have to like help carry me onto the seat, and then they have to look away while they listen to the wonderful sounds of me peeing.
But how do you take off your, I hope you don't mind me asking, but how do you take off your, you know,
Oh,
bottoms, your pants?
once I'm standing up, it's sort of okay, but I also can shimmy on the toilet seat. It takes a while, but I can definitely do that. Taking off
Mm.
is easier than trying to put it back on, which is why sometimes, depending
Yeah,
on
that's true.
where I'm going, I prefer to wear skirts.
Mm.
But you cannot
Um,
avoid not wearing underwear. Like, that
yeah.
is important. So there have been a few situations where I like
Mm.
halfway wear the underwear. Like it's there, it's covering the important bits, but it's just not all the way up to my waist. So it's an interesting situation. But most time,
Mm.
if they can get me into a standing position, can la. And there have been such many situations where I'm a little bit more tired. They'll sort of help put my pants and my underwear back on for me. Like I said, my friends have seen and heard many things. My life is a musical and it's weird.
Okay, yeah, I have a question.
Mm,
Has anyone ever tried using diapers? Because I absolutely hate them.
I don't want
Me?
diaper rash. How is it?
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
what's your opinion of it? And this is a person who hasn't even used ads since 2008.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, get that wrong.
Yeah,
I've been
because
using
Mm.
diapers
mhm,
in school. So usually school time I will always use diapers,
mhm.
but I don't. It's just like in case of emergency only.
Ah, I've
Usually I
always
don't pee at all. I don't pee at all. So when I wear
oh
it, I won't pee. I
yeah,
was like, no
I can't
way.
do it.
It,
I can't do that anymore. Like it's one of the reasons why I
no.
opened up my own company when I first came back to Malaysia. Kan, I did the whole circuit of sending out your CVs, going to go to the interviews, and they were like, "Oh, you got the job," and I was like, "Okay, before I am excited about getting the job. Can I see your office?" And then I go to the office. I find that there's no ramps, there's no disabled toilets. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't work for you because I'm going to be here at least 8 hours. And of that 8 hours, I'm going to have to pee sometime. I'm not going to let myself have kidney problems for you. You're not going to pay for that."
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really English. It's just
I
It's,
can remember like back in 2014, I think when I was at some institute, training institute
mm-hmm,
for the disabled, which I found. Someone recommended me to go inside there because it's free courses available.
mm-hmm,
And then so I just went in there. Plus they provided hostel, so everything was kind of like okay. So I'll just go with the flow and stuff like that. But I think after I was there for like 3 years, and then because I kind of like studied there, and then after that, so-called graduation stuff, I interned there as a digital illustration teacher, and for 6 months.
mm-hmm,
So I was always holding my pee. And what happened was a lot of health problems came, and that included swollen kidneys.
oh,
So I was kind of like very sick for 1 week. And then the doctor said UTI. So I was like, okay, that's it, that's enough. I am not gonna hold my pee just because some maniac wants me to work more than 8 hours, expects me to be there on standby.
mm-hmm,
So I was kind of like not putting up with all of that crap anymore. So I
mm-hmm,
went back for a toilet break every 1 p.m. and came back after 1 hour. I didn't really care at that point at the time anymore because for me health is very important. And if my superior cannot understand it, then that's their problem. So
mm-hmm.
after 6 months of interning there, I just quit and got myself a new job. That was the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Anna?
I was I mean, like, I think children to the toilet there is the toilet not accessible or
Sorry? I can't hear what Aina said.
Yeah, I know you're a bit muffled and very, very high pitched. Oh my god, it's so loud.
Aina, can you type it
now?
in the chat? Can you type it in the chat? Oh, yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. What would you
Okay,
say?
now
Yes,
okay.
so much
No,
better.
Here.
um, what makes you don't go to the toilet there? Is it because it's not accessible or
Because
what?
I did not have a caregiver who could handle me to the toilet at the time.
Ah,
And
okay.
then she was always going off somewhere else while I was at work.
Mm.
So it was difficult.
Mm.
And no one could handle me, so I have to like hold in my pee. And then if I wear diapers, I get diaper rash. And when you get diaper rash, it's very, very hard to recover from that. And for my case,
Mm.
I don't know why. Maybe it's
Yeah,
because of my skin type or something. I don't
but
know
it
why.
it
Or
could
maybe it's
also
because of
be
lack of hygiene.
I don't know about lack of hygiene, but it could also be the fact that we're sitting down all the time, so there's no
Yeah.
time for your butt
Yeah,
to dry.
yup, to breathe and also,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, healing from any sort of skin wound requires that area to remain dry, not sat on. So I mean, it's really hard to cure or heal diaper rash when you sort of have to sit on it all the time.
And plus, because diapers are made of plastic.
Also that, like,
So,
it's very not breathable.
yeah.
Do you use the the underwear that collects period?
No, I don't use that. But if I have period, I usually use I think I told you guys last time before, right? There was this
Yeah,
brand, and
yeah.
then
I
it has
remember
that,
that is bread. Mm.
disposable, underwear that, absorbs period and stuff like that.
Mm,
But for nighttime, I will usually use diapers if it's period time.
mm-hmm.
And then after I finish my period, I won't use diapers. I only use it for nighttime because period is heavy during nighttime. Yeah.
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 I don't have fond memories for period pads. I did not like. Now I hate it even more. I think now is a good time to sort of seg into the topic that we actually want to talk about, which is personhood and identity. Um, Personhood is a philosophical term and has no bearing in the fact that whether a person is human or not. It's just what you are. There's so many different kinds of uh, what is it? There's so many sort of schools of thought when it comes to what is a person, right? Um, and it's a very, very important facet of philosophy because even if we don't think about it, it determines what society deems to be someone and what that someone is entitled to. Essentially, what makes a person. We're also privileged to be in a modern era where we get to dictate our own personhood compared to in the before times where your personhood is dictated by society. This is also your identity as well. I say that, but this privilege is kind of not extended to all members of society because of the various isms we have. Things like the racism, sexism, um, you know, this ideology that I completely disagree with. And if you do, please go away. Um, this idea where some people are better than others, I disagree with that. But really, we're not going into the whole rigmarole of the philosophy of personhood because that can take forever. There are classes on that in ethics that you can take or you can find on the internet, which is really interesting. Um, and you can do that yourself. It just quick Google. We're also not going to be going into the the logical or mathematical or legal version or anything that's not related to the social view of yourself's version of what is an identity. What we're going to tease out is very, very, very based on our personal experiences, and by our I mean the three of us. You definitely would have your own, and the fact that what do you get to decide and what do others get to decide on you in terms of your identity. What I want to ask my two friends here is, how different would you be if you didn't have this disease?
I know you can go first.
Me? I go
Uh-huh.
first.
Yeah.
How different? I might be more the girl that is adventurous
Mm-hmm.
and do things on my own. And also, perhaps I might be the stubborn daughter that doesn't listen much. Maybe I would do that. I think I might do that.
Okay,
Because
okay.
with SMA, I have to listen what my parents ask me to do. Even we don't want, then got no choice. So nak tak nak, buat lah. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, just listen to me.
Like it does take
Yes.
away your ability to say no, doesn't it, when you have this disease? Like,
Yeah,
because they're taking
yeah,
care
you
of
can't
you,
say.
and if you say no, it's like, oh,
Mm.
der haka times 10.
Ah. Yeah, so yeah, you can't say much lah. You can't say no to that. So you just go with the flow. So be a obedient daughter like that.
Ah.
Not to say I'm not that obedient now, but then there are some things that I would love to try, but I can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What Joyce?
For me, SMA has um, I don't know what to say, but it's kind of like roughed me up
Mm-hmm.
very much. I used to be a soft kid when I was young, but then after that, a lot of things happened because of this disease, and so I went through a lot of bad stuff. And as I got older, I become more quiet, more introverted, and my thoughts became more dark actually when I was growing up. I cannot actually remember a time that I was happy growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but the one thing that SMA did give me was kindness and endurance and perseverance. So the three things really did help me get through all of the stuff that I had to face and the obstacles. Um, and how different would it be if I didn't have this disease? I think I would be kind of like more, I don't know, because I am already very rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would be kind of like, I'm going to do my own thing kind of kid. I think I would have left home at a very early age if I didn't have this disease,
Mm-hmm.
because that has come across my mind many times when I was young. Because I wanted freedom. I love freedom, so perhaps uh, if I didn't have SMA, then I would be pretty rebellious. Yeah.
I see a thread here, in that SMA has taken both of your abilities to rebel, at least at an earlier age. Like the ability to be like, no, I'll do what I want. I'm not listening to you. And then being able to storm outside, close the door with a slam, and not worry about whether or not there's a step blocking you. Would you would you say that objectively, would you say that you're in a good place? I wouldn't say mentally, but sort of who you are. Do you want to be somebody different?
Me,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, kind of.
Mm-hmm. But you, Aina, are you
And
happy with yourself? This is before
Yeah.
I sort of answer a bunch of questions, which I will definitely. It's not like I'm avoiding answering this question or anything.
Yes, maybe yes and maybe no.
Mm,
It's like
it's
in the
a,
middle.
a difficult
It's like,
thing.
yeah,
Okay, what is
it's
the
a yes and
yeses
no.
and what is the no?
It's a yes that I'm grateful with the blessings and then like my families are supportive. My close friends, I have a great close friends, okay, so which is cool. I'm okay with that. And no is in like I wish I can do things on my own sometimes,
Mm-hmm. I
like
understand.
without asking help from people.
Oh my god, that is the worst.
Yeah, like I wanted to do that. It's not like I don't want to do that. I want to do that, just that I can't.
I think it's the for us, if we have to get somebody to help, we have to be very um sure that that's what we want to do because we can't just go in halfway and be like, tak na lah.
Yeah.
Because we've sort of enlisted somebody to help us and they're sitting in front of you like, you wanted to do this, you dragged me, now you don't want to do this, and then you feel guilt. So I totally get
And
it.
you have to choose like who can help you, who
Oh my
cannot.
god.
Like yeah, and you have to. I mean, for me, I have to check on the mood of my parents if they're okay. If they're
Mm.
okay, then don't ask for it. Okay, if not, you could have it.
Doesn't it feel a bit like requesting your jailer for help? Like you're very much
I
dependent on another
actually
person's
I
emotions. Sorry?
actually I kind of like, okay, for my case, when my caregiver starts showing that kind of like attitude, if I need her help, I would just straight tell her off by saying, "You want me to beg for your help?" And she would kind of like think about it because I would say in a very sarcastic way. So
Mm.
if she doesn't want to help, I will start with my nagging
Hmm. But the
until
thing
she
is,
gives in.
you're paying her to help you. Me
Yeah,
and I know we're not paying
Yeah.
anyone to help. Like if I was paying someone to help, I'll be as sassy as hell. I'll be like, "What the hell am I paying you for?" But requesting
yeah,
help from parents
yeah,
or friends, I feel like it's a whole nother ball game in that
yeah.
you don't want
I know.
to you don't want to be so pushy that they sort of view you
Turn
as
off
somebody who's
actually.
just trying to use them.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
Mm-mm.
sometimes I feel like, oh, I feel like such a burden. Like, I'm sorry, I'm asking you for help all the time. Like driving.
Mm.
I would love
Oh,
to drive myself
yeah. To try.
to the kakak that sells pisang goreng so I can get pisang goreng anytime. But I can't. So if it's raining, I cannot order food. Um, if if I feel like I have a craving, I cannot get that craving unless I ask somebody else. And oftentimes it's really stupid. It's like, oh, now I feel like curry puff. There's no curry puff at home. Now I have to ask someone. I don't want to ask someone to just go buy me 3 pieces of curry puff. That's stupid. So I sort of get where you're coming at.
So okay, so there's a difference. Why?
Uh-huh.
Because like the last time we've already discussed this before, familiarity breeds contempt, right? I think I've said this before.
Yes.
Um, so when you hire someone who's been working for you for 5 years, they start showing their attitude.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think
Oh.
around I think around by 1 year they will start showing their stripes. So well, it actually depends on the person's character and their attitude and their their point of view towards life. If they're the sort of person who's like pretty self-centered and mostly thinking about like you know things that can benefit themselves, You
Mm-hmm.
will face this problem when you have a caregiver like that. So mostly when you handle people like that, you have to go into a debate with them, make them question their conscience. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Make them question their conscience, let them sleep on it, and then the next day they might become better. It takes a lot of talking. It's tiring, but this is something that you have to do if you are hiring someone because not everyone is going to treat you well, even if you are paying them.
Mm. But I think
It's the only way to survive that. The
I
caregiver.
don't care. I don't care about the rudeness, but the main goal is that I do what I want to do.
mm. I mean,
Well,
for me,
so
if
I
I
don't
was
care.
paying someone to do their job, I expect them to do their job. It doesn't matter what their conscience is telling them. If they're lazy, do your job. I'm paying you. Like, you
That's the
don't get
problem
to
because they know that
abuse
you are.
me. Sorry?
That's the problem. They know that you are, you need their help. That's why they dare to do that to you. I mean, like, okay, let's not look at the caregiver. Let's look at outside. There are people in workplaces where they also exhibit the same attitude. The boss
Uh,
pays them and they don't do their work.
Brozang 919 says, "Hello, Joyce." He's
Oh,
asking how you
I think
are.
that's my friend.
Oh,
I
okay,
think that's
nice.
my friend.
Thanks for
It
watching.
his English might be a bit weird. I hope you guys don't mind because he's hearing impaired.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
I hope
yeah,
he can read the CCs. I mean, it's not great, but it's something. Anyway, we will continue. I guess I should tell y'all my version of how I view all this nonsense. Um,
uh,
let's start with how different would I be if I didn't have this disease? Well, even as a child, I was that kid who goes around, goes to birthday parties, and I'm like, it's not even my party. Like, it's my friend's party, but I'm the one sitting in front of the cake waiting to blow the candle. Like, I was that asshole. Like, everyone's like, happy birthday. I'm just there, like, bitch, you better blow it faster than I will. And then I will eat all your cake. So, I think having spinal muscular atrophy didn't do much except as with Joyce and Aina, it has taken away my ability to rebel to like the hardcore level. Because I'm very counterculture. I'm very rebellious in nature. I have never sort of
conform.
strived to be the same as everyone else because everybody else is boring. I mean, not to say that I didn't do that whole thing as a teenager. Like every teenager wants to belong, but yeah, I think it just stopped me from going off the rails, going clubbing, doing all the things teenagers like to do. But I did it anyway as an adult. Uh, the protective bubble I had, but again, I also have the privilege of not being strapped to a wheelchair until I was about 18. So my teenage angst existed as far as I could push it, that kind of thing. Um, I have to say, in spite of spinal muscular atrophy, I really like myself. I think I would be more successful in my field if I didn't have it because I love site work. I love site work. I love going to like a construction site and working with the contractors, being hands on, seeing how it changes from like this bare brick or nothingness into like a beautiful house that I designed and I helped make real. I think it's just I think very highly of myself in general. So I think yeah, I would be an even bigger asshole if I didn't have SMA, I think. But also having this disability put me in a unique situation where I spend a lot of time absorbing information. I have so much random information floating around in my head that it allows me to sort of become very wise in how the world functions. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. There's a lot of things I get wrong, obviously, but I would say my multidisciplinariness is very helpful in various things. If and true to something that was written in my first grade report card, Aisha is a very bright young girl. It would be better if she just applied herself. Thanks. Um, was it Puan Putih? That was my teacher in first grade. Thanks, Puan Putih. I know you're not alive anymore. um, so I think all encompassingly, having SMA did not change a lot of things about who I am because again, when we're talking about my identity, hasn't it's pretty solid. Thinking about identity, I know what do you sort of think is the glue to your identity? What when people think about you, when you think about yourself, what do you see as your identity? Anna or Joyce?
Wait,
Did
what
we
was the
lose Aina?
question again? Because the line kind of like broke.
Oh, okay. The question was what is your all encompassing identity? Like when people see you, um, when where you see yourself, what is your identity? Like what is it tied to?
Okay, you know what? The funny thing is that when people see me, when most people see me, they think I'm positive. I tell them I'm sorry. I'm not positive. I am not a positive person. I'm a very, very negative person. I'm a very realistic person. I cannot give you inspiration, and please do not find it from me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, what?
They get. I know
For
a
me,
lot
I
of
am
people
type.
get super
I am
offended.
suicidal. You
Uh huh.
really don't. Sorry?
I know a lot of people, a lot of
Sorry, what did you say?
I know a lot of pre-disabled people who get very offended when you are not that ideal vision of disabled positivity. They get so offended when I get angry. They're like, "Why are you angry?" And I'm like, "I have so many reasons to be angry right now. Do not." It's wild. Please continue.
Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why, but tend to see me like I'm a not, okay? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a positive person. I tell them that I am suicidal. I have depression, and they say, you don't look like it. I said, I don't have to look like it. Why do I have to like portray everything on my face? And then they will say stuff, stuff like positive, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole process when they see that you need help, such as like you need positivity and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh no. So people tend to see me that way, and when they know, like when they hear from my mouth that I am not a positive person, they'll start that unsolicited advice. For me, myself, I see myself as a person who is, I see myself as a person who is broken
Mm.
with many holes, and depth of that hole is kind of like endless. And within that hole is perpetual darkness. That is how I view myself.
How do you
And
want people to view
funny
you?
thing is that
How do you want people
I
to
don't want
view
them
you?
to view me in any. I don't want people to view me in any way. I just want to be a person, be seen as a person. That's it.
Hmm.
don't
Okay.
want anything special. I just want to be me. I just want people to look at me as a person. I don't want them to open their mouth and say, "Oh, you are an inspiration." No, sorry, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking more about inspiration porn
Yeah.
later after the Pecha Kucha session, which is gonna be really fun. I know you back. I don't know if Aina is even here. Okay,
Yes, I can hear finally.
okay, okay. What
The
happened?
line is a bit, yeah, the
No.
line is a
Well,
bit like, no, suddenly go be safe.
it's okay because next week you're gonna be in Kelantan, which is gonna be worse.
Yeah.
So Aina, my question is, what is your identity? How do you see yourself? How do you want other people to see you? And is it working out? Is it happening? Are you doing the thing?
Yeah, that happening to me. I want people to see that this is me. I think it's working. And what am I doing right now? It is what I want.
Mm.
People see me through arts. That's what I love. So
So
it's on the right way lah.
so you're saying that you want to be identified based on your art, or you as a teacher, or is there something more, like something bigger that you want to sort of try and solidify in
Mm,
yourself? Like when somebody meets you, what is your best foot forward kind of thing?
see me first with my disability. I would say that. Mm,
It's a very difficult question because it essentially asks you to know yourself first, and it's something that I, as a person, is trying hard every day to sort of get to know myself. It's so difficult because who you are changes. It's this idea of identity, right? Who you
yeah, it's
are
like
is very
who
different
you
from
are is
who you were
different.
yesterday.
True.
And
It's
it's
like
even worse
the
the
next.
yeah, it's even worse the younger you get. Like me in my 20s, if I met me in my 30s, we would probably be fighting because there's certain things that me in my 20s want to do, and me in my 30s would be like, no, no, I'm tired, go away. uh, but, but sort of like, I know my personality type, I know um my sun sign, my moon sign, my rising sign, I know my enneagram, I know my MBTI, which is junk science, I know the kind of personality, the kind of personality I have. But it doesn't really tell you how you want to project yourself to the world. Like when people meet me, the nicest thing I've heard people say about me is when they first met me, they thought I was scary. I'm like, really? Because that tells me that nobody can walk over me. The because
Hey,
of
me, number one, I thought that you were scary.
I thought that was so cool because I don't go around trying to be scary.
Scary.
I want to be, I want to be kind of friendly, right? But
No,
the thing about being a friendly disabled person
I was
is
actually scared.
no, no, stop it, stop it. Um, but I think for me it comes
Actually
deeply.
scared
Uh huh.
when I when I first saw it.
I don't remember when that was, so you have to remind me.
Yeah, years. I think at the time where we had the gathering, the dinner thing.
Is it
Was
the
it
the one
the
with the
game
picture?
thing at the table?
Gaming thing
Um,
at the table.
was it you were trying to build something with the glasses and the
Oh,
cups and stuff?
I have feelings about this because the dad group stole our idea.
Yeah,
I was
and
so
then I
angry.
was,
It's like, how
and
dare
then
you?
I uh, So yeah, and then that I remember at Bangsar South.
Mm-hmm. Pangsar South. I don't think I remember that at all. Like we've met up a few. Oh, the the
The
the
one that was,
workshop.
yeah,
That was the table thing
Yeah,
where we had to build something at the
that
table.
one.
Out
No, no,
still
no, that wasn't the one.
no, that was at Bangsa
no,
South, though,
that one,
right?
Yeah, really?
yeah, that was the one at Bangsa also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We have two events there.
Wait,
Oh,
okay,
I don't know.
Another,
I
another one,
don't
I don't
I
remember.
think you
thought
were there. The one with the SMA. Oh,
I remember spending an overnighter in a hotel there, and then
yeah,
having to
the
wake
one
up
that
early.
workshop,
Yeah,
the
that's the
workshop.
workshop. Lakan. That was the
That's the
building
workshop
thing.
lah.
That was the building
Yeah,
thing
the
where
building thing.
the fathers took our idea, and I got so angry. I was like, "This is cheating! You took our idea!" And they were like, "Oh, what was the goreng that they tried?" They were like, "Oh, they did exactly what we did," and I was so like, "How dare you steal my idea? See, this is why we never finish early." But yes, I'm very territorial over the things that I do, and I hate people stealing ideas and taking it as their own. And I'm like, look, you are at an advantage considering you can actually build it. We are disabled. How dare you? But as I was saying, being disabled and being nice allows people to sort of take advantage of you, which is why when somebody says I am scary, I'm like, thanks. I don't try, but thanks. I think as people get to know me, they realize I am actually not that scary. I am soft and squishy and good, I hope.
Yeah, not scary. Yeah, they're not scary.
Thank you.
Joyce,
Well,
Joyce, are you scary? Joyce, Joyce.
Joyce.
I
Joyce.
can align also.
Oh no. I know. What do
Oh,
you not want people to sort of see you as? I just don't want people
in,
to look at me and think weak. And I'm like, how dare?
oh, not that. For me, what? I don't know. Not sure.
Huh. Anything negative that you would feel slighted if somebody went up to you and say, oh, Aina's so dot dot dot.
Not really. Not the negative thought. Never got the negative thought.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe I have this. Last time, my schoolmate will say that Aina is a bit sombong. Actually, no, not sombong.
Aina sombong.
I got that one time, but actually no point. It's not that I sombong. It's that I'm shy. I don't talk to people unless I know you.
I think that's like that for most people,
I
I
got
feel.
that. I got that one time.
Ada sekali tu, I was at school. This is the first day I went to my middle school. And I was walking down the hall. And if you have SMA and you still walk, you kind of walk funny. So one of my classmates, and this is like 2 years after I joined, she looked at me and we were talking about what everybody's opinion was what everybody's first opinions was of everybody else. And we went round table and she looked at me and she went, I thought you were a bitch. And I was like, what? How? And she was like, yeah, you walked like you were a bitch. And I was like, how do you walk like a bitch? That's impossible. And she's like, well, that's what I thought before. Now I know it's because you have SMA. And I'm like, that's right. Take it back.
Oh, I know. Because you have that swag.
It, it it's it is sort of through we walk with a very strange gait because we're weak and we're
Penguin
trying
gate.
really hard not to
Penguin.
fall.
Penguin gate.
Yeah, and then when I stand on one leg, so it looks like I'm standing like a sassy person. And I'm like, how? I'm just trying to not fall, guys. Please. Please do not do this.
Oh my god.
I'm offended. I'm a nice, good person. I am moral and helpful. No. And then people look at me and you're like, you're an asshole. And I'm like, first of all, you're not wrong. Second of all, I'm trying. Come on, man. Um, do you allow certain things that people attribute to you to become your identity?
For example,
Like this idea of, oh, you're so sad, you're in a wheelchair. Do you sort of take that to heart?
No.
no, because
No.
I think that's their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my perspective. So whatever they think it's their own problem. Because I've had that people say to me many times, and I feel annoyed by that.
Mm-hmm. I think both of you have a decent amount of not self-consciousness, what self-confidence, which is really good to have. Like a lot of people don't have a lot of
Confidence?
self-confidence.
I don't have confidence.
Well,
I'm a
you're
really angry
here.
person.
That that is your self-determinism making you more angry than you are, making you feel safe probably. Being angry is a very safe emotion to be because it's not very complicated to me lah. Like there are other emotions that are a lot more complicated. Being angry for me is very easy because you can be
I
cold
guess,
angry or you can be hot angry.
yeah.
Hot angry is immediate. Cold angry is calculative.
I think it's probably a coping mechanism, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How so?
I don't know, because like if I stay, I'm not like really angry type. It's like, what is a serious type? Mostly
Hmm.
serious to the point that people always ask me, why are you angry?
Oh no, I think it's called resting bitch
Oh.
face.
What?
You just have resting bitch face.
Yeah. So that's what I have.
People like
And
you.
people get upset when they see my face like that. I'm like, what? I said, I am not angry. Why you keep saying that I'm angry? They say, you look angry. I said, I don't look angry. I look like this.
This is my face, man. I am trying to construct like the perfect way to tell people that this is just your resting bitch face. When people go, "Are you angry? Why are you looking angry?" I'm just gonna tell them it's because I had a thought about putting an elephant on a ball through a spinning spindle at a like a mini golf site and I didn't win. They're gonna be so confused. They're gonna be like, what does that have to do with anger? And I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm perplexed, just like you right now.
Oh my god.
So instead of being angry now, everybody's confused. Win-win. People want such straightforward answers to why you angry. Like, if you ask me that question, do you really want to listen to me or are you just asking that because you're uncomfortable?
You know, usually I would say you want to see me angry. You haven't seen me angry.
Turns into the Hulk. But the Hulk is on a wheelchair. So, funny story. For a really long time, zombie movies were very popular in the zeitgeist, right? And my friend asked me, like, what would you do if there was a zombie apocalypse? My first answer was, I don't know, die. I'm kind of useless. Unless, of course, there is a team of people around me and they are willing to put me in a car and drive me places, then it's chill, yo, but mostly die. And then I went down the dumpster fire that is, what if I was a zombie? And I started laughing because in my mind, I'm like, I would be the worst zombie ever. I would negotiate with you to come closer because I cannot move. My wheelchair is gone. I'm on the floor. I'm trying to drag myself, but because I'm a zombie, I don't have the strength. So I'm just at the corner, like, hey, hey, I'm totally not a zombie. Can you come nearer to me so I can I mean, I need to tell you something important. Come here. I am so weak. And then when they come near me, I bite them. I'm a very chatty zombie.
I actually have, thoughts about if there was a zombie apocalypse, and then if I get bitten, would I be able to walk? Like the zombie body would be like totally forget about the SMA thing inside, and then they would just start walking. I've thought about that before. I was
I
thinking
mean,
if that was possible.
here's the thing. It depends on whether or not you're a biological zombie or a magic zombie. If you're a magic zombie, you will be able to walk. But if you're a biological zombie, no. You potato forever.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about magic zombies. You can be a skeleton and still be walking.
That's so
Ooh.
beautiful. That,
Sorry, Anna?
no, I didn't know there is magic zombie.
Yeah, magic
Yeah.
zombie. Well,
Never heard of it.
originally zombies are steeped in magic. Uh, but now in the current iterations, it's all like a virus or what is that? What is that parasite? Um,
Mm.
hang on, it will come to me. But now it's like a virus infection, bacterial infection. Um, but yeah, the current iteration of zombies is very biological. It's this idea where people get sick and then the sickness continues, as opposed to way back then. And even in some cultures, you have zombies that were raised by magic.
Oh yeah, that.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
Indonesia, kan, where you can raise a dead person to walk with you to their final burying place.
Really?
I think so.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, every there's so
Maybe.
many cultures in this country. Sorry, in on this planet that it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very interesting.
Mm.
Zombies are very interesting because they embody fear in all of us. Because when you're a zombie, it takes away your personhood, it takes away your identity, it takes away your agency. You are no longer a rational creature. You are irrational. You are worse than an animal because now you have a primary objective, which is to make more zombies.
I thought it
Like,
was eat brains.
I mean, that's part of the way that you can make more zombies is by trying to eat brains.
Okay.
Super interesting stuff. But here it is. Personhood is essentially your idea of yourself, your ability for rationality, your sense of agency, and your identity over time. So this is what we've been talking about the whole time. It's how you see yourself, whether you are good or bad based on culture, whether you can do something, and it has taken away your agency at some points in your life, especially when you're trying to rebel. But your identity over time, are you still the same person you were 10 years ago? How have you changed?
No, not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Still the same.
I think I think more mellow, more laid back, more kind of like let's see how this goes instead of like jumping straight into the fire and stuff like that. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're more rational now. You don't think about like doing things on impulse.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of tend to like think things over. You weigh the consequences and stuff like that, and you kind of like become more quiet.
Oh.
I don't know. For me, I become more quiet. I think that sometimes maintaining silence is better than saying too much.
Mm. Think
Hmm.
about it.
I know.
So if it was me meeting myself 10 years back, I would have slapped the shit out of her.
We feel the same things. I know you think you haven't changed.
Yeah, I think I'm still the same.
Why?
No, why would I change? I love myself.
No, I didn't like the little things. Although intrinsically, I am still who I am. I like the same things. Okay, maybe I don't like the same things. I like some of the same things. I think the same way. I'm still very counterculture. I'm still very argumentative. I still think uh, arguments are fun, and I will poke people into arguing with me because it's funny in an entertaining way. I mean, if they're uncomfortable, I'll be like, okay, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I'm still the same person I intrinsically am. What has changed, and I put a Terry Pratchett quote because everything needs a Terry Pratchett quote. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience is often a lack of wisdom. And I'm like, totes, totes, that's hype. That is true. You do dumb things when you're a kid because you don't have experience. Once you experience a dumb thing, you think, ah, that was dumb. And it's one of the reasons why I did it because I didn't listen to people with more experience than I had because I didn't believe them. I'm still that same person. Like if somebody says don't go there, I'll be like,
Mm.
"Why?" And then I'll go there and I'll be like, "Oh, right. Should have listened." But I know intrinsically I will not listen because I have to experience it for myself. I am that person. But that person has also changed because I'm a lot more tired now that I'm old. Like I have such a finite amount of energy every day to put up with other people's shit when I used to have so much energy to put up with other people's shit. Thoughts?
Mm, wait, what was the question again?
There's no real question, just answers. Do you know what has changed you? Actually, no, I do have a question. Hang on, let me go through my notes. Okay, this is more of a body question. You know how we as disabled people view wheelchairs as an extension of our body? It is our thing, like it's our legs, right? How do
Mm-hmm.
you explain that to people who do not have a wheelchair or assistive devices or put themselves in a situation where they treat it as a joke? Like your wheelchair is now a car that needs airbags and a NOS system.
Um, People always tend to make fun of that. I don't argue with them because I think if it's their way of perceiving it in that sense, then it's their own opinion. They are entitled to it. But I will ask them if they would like to try to sit on the wheelchair for the whole day. And the answer is always no.
Hmm. Do you follow up with that? Like, do you ask them why?
I do ask them why. Okay, I cannot stand sitting down for 5 minutes. Say, oh, so what makes you think that having a wheelchair is fun? Just kind of like give an awkward laugh and like kind of go away.
Hmm.
Avoid the question.
Fair point. Fair point. For me,
Always tell you that I like to make people outward.
but sometimes it helps in getting them to understand your situation. So awkwardness
So
is good.
I've explained. I always explain if they have questions. And even if I have explained and they still want to make fun of it, so I would usually make the situation awkward. I mean, that is my way of ending the conversation.
Huh. I know thoughts.
I know I'm weird, but that's the way how I do it.
I mean, it's not weird at all. I think it's a very valid way to negotiate people, especially people who don't respect
Yeah.
your stuff.
I think the best way is just ignore them. Don't give a yeah, just ignore them. The more
Uh,
you lie on them, I think the more it's just like annoying.
mm,
It's better to just walk away, pretend that they don't exist. But if they ask question nicely, then you can answer that.
mm,
If it's that the other way around, just ignore.
yeah.
You see, Aina has more sass than me.
There's so many situations where I am confronted by people talking about my wheelchair. It could go either way. If I'm going somewhere in a hurry, I'll be like, haha, okay. Sometimes I will ask them like, this is not a toy. Would you like to have your legs chopped off? And immediately they'll be like,
No, not at all.
no. Um, it's usually very funny, like, oh, that's so cool. I want one too. And I'm like, no, you don't. Stairs are hell. It could go either way. Sometimes ignore, sometimes sass, sometimes be actually absolutely savage.
It should
It
depends on the
I really,
situation. So right.
yeah,
yeah. I really wouldn't waste my time arguing with them because it's just a waste of time.
absolutely. It's yeah, to me it's very very situational. I was at a bar once and this old white guy came up to our table. This is during COVID, okay? Like KL just opened up again. People started to go out again. We were masked up and he was really near me and he smelled like beer. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, it's so good to see um you here, with a wheelchair. That's a cool thing." And I just stood there like I didn't know how to respond. Because I'm very used to if I go to bars and stuff. If you want to talk to me, if you want to comment on my wheelchair, if you want to ask about my disease, bring me a drink. Like that's just common courtesy. This guy was drunk off his ass and just talking at me, and I'm just looking at my friends like, what? Every so often, I would look at his friends at his table like, yo, get your drunk ass bitch away from me. It's so irritating. Oh, drunk people are the worst. This is why I don't get drunk because I
Yep.
don't want to. Anyway, if we don't have any more to add to that conversation, I'm sure eventually it will pop up again. I want to do a series of Pecha Kuchas that all of us have prepared earlier. And we are going to start with Joyce's. Joyce, you ready? But first, before you are ready, I should share my screen. Oh, yes, it works. Okay. Stream quality. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Joyce?
Sorry?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep, now I can.
Okay. Let me know when you want to start. I will press the button.
You can start with Aina first.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Hang on. Let me just turn off studio mode. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Let me zoom in. I have to say though, Ina's one has a bit of injured
Classy.
animal, so
Oh yeah.
uh
It's
so
a
so
bit
be aware of that trigger warning. Let me just update this nonsense. Where is it? Here it is. Boop.
I don't see it on my
Okay.
screen.
Let me change the what's it. Where is yours? Here. Ha, ha, ha. There we go. Okay. Let me know when you want to start.
Um, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Now start.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, can start.
In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, this is my bag. Sugar glider. And that is. So, this was taken during her birthday this year. She's 9 years old. Coming to 9 years old this year. She's a very friendly sugar glider, I would say. She don't bite. Taiko don't bite. See, even you put your fingers in her mouth, she won't bite. She's a very good girl. Taiko is a very manja sugar glider that loves to play.
So
Alright,
cute.
okay. Yeah. I bought her a sofa, but she doesn't like that sofa. This one, she doesn't like that sofa. It's cute with the pillows, but don't know. Don't need to ask Taiko why she don't like it. This is a favorite food, watermelon. Can eat
Mm,
that every day, but that's not good for her.
so cute.
Eating all the time. She only active at night. Daytime is just sleeping. And this one, because she need to help me with my works, right? I even make her to do the arts. She can just stay there doing nothing, just sleeping sometimes. And Tamani do the art stuff. Oh, this one, look at her sleeping in her comfy pouch. She can sleep all day long. Don't kacau her. Or not. Look at her pink nose. Alright. And this one, she had a dental issue at first. So yeah, you need to go to the vet to check. Okay, the next post might be a trigger warning. This is not sure what happened, but her face is swollen at the side, as you can see, the right side. I don't know. We don't know what happened. We brought her to the vet. And to the next picture. Yeah, this is actually the from swollen face to the excess on the head. You can see she started to scratch.
Oh.
And to the next one, she will need to go for not a surgery, a minor procedure to remove the excess on the head. If not, she will keep itchy, which is not good for her. And
Buddy. Oh.
yeah, please don't look at it if you're not comfortable. That's the stitches all the way. Straight to a color. I had to stay for night settings just to feed her because she can't sleep. She can't sleep. She can't eat on herself. It's very, yeah. It just sad to see her like this. Is this struggling? This is the second time wearing e-collar. More comfortable than the first time, but still not used to it. And yeah, this one finally removed from the e-collar. So yeah, I guess she's happy she can eat by herself. That is, I'm not sure what is she eating. Blackberry, I think, berry. And back to e-collar again because the wound terbuka kan. So I got no choice, go to the vet again. But this time, okay lah, I guess she adjusting to herself. Alright, okay. And this one, no, apa free from everything, free from medicine for a while. She can sit on your lap for hours, you know. It depends on you if you want to tahan. If tahan ke tak nak jaga dia lagi. Yeah, this time, when was it? Oh yeah, I think 3 weeks ago. We went to a paddy field. She doesn't enjoy that. You can see from her face. She don't even enjoy it. Okay. I think because kampung weather got very panas. Oh, and this one is the time that yeah, she's sick again. Need to be pampered all the time. Feed her. Alright, okay. This one, she's finally put on back. On weight. Her weight is last time was 50 something. But look at it, it's 61. See, this is not easy, you know, to get her put on weight again.
Yay! Eat.
After this. And yeah, she's I think recovering, eating her favorite MWD, which is like a milk for us. It's a milk for sugar glider. And yeah, sleeping comfortably with a new bolster that I bought. This is actually she just pretending, you know. She don't like the bolster at all. She just pretending just for the picture. Only for the sake of pictures, okay?
It's so cute.
Okay, I guess that's all.
I cannot deal with this. Is Taiko okay? Like now, the heel and everything.
No, not really. On the way, recovering, I think.
Oh, okay,
The
okay,
head is
okay.
okay, but then another issue is the poo.
The what?
She can't poo.
She can't poo?
Yeah,
Why?
constipation.
Uh huh.
Yeah, something to do with the digestion system lah. And then now she's on medication again.
Oh, okay. I hope she's okay. She's so cute. I thought Taiko was a
Yeah.
boy, though.
Now Taiko is a girl.
Today I learned. I always thought she was a boy. We could not make it any more obvious.
I named her Taiko, but not Taiko at all.
Okay. Okay, Joyce, are you ready?
Okay, ready?
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, sorry for the background noise because my caregiver chose to go to the toilet at this time. Okay, popular potato dishes. Okay, let's look at the vegetable, which is very famous. Okay, kind of like popular around the whole world. And let's see. Okay, French fries. Who doesn't love French fries, right? Almost every single restaurant has French fries. French fries on the side, a la carte, and stuff like that. So it's one of the most popular foods made from potatoes. French fries originated from Germany, I think. You have potato wedges also. I think potato wedges are like kind of the bigger size of French fries. And who doesn't love them? I mean, like KFC, like literally ran out of them. I think this year it happened. But the recent shortage on potatoes have been like kind of worrying. And you also can make curry from potatoes. They're nice. Who doesn't love curry potatoes? Okay, and then what we have next? Mashed potatoes. This is one of my favorites because I always do mashed potatoes. I think probably a few times a month. And it's very versatile. You can mash it with any kind of food, especially meat. Sometimes you can even eat it with bread. And this is, any one of you know what this is?
Isn't it puri?
Yeah, this is pani puri. So it's an Indian street food. Yeah, so the filling is potato, and then they kind of like doused it, like kind of like dunk it in the water, some kind of a, I don't know what kind of water is that, but it's nice. And this is poutine. Poutine is a Canadian dish, which is French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. I've never tried this before. I really want to try it. I don't know if Malaysia has it or not. Perhaps I should go and find on Google. So this one is croquette. It's from France. The origin is from France, and the Japanese have been very creative with croquettes. So one of my favorites as well. It's very nice. Deep fried, not healthy, but no, everyone likes unhealthy food. Roast potatoes. It's also nice. But I usually don't do this because I don't have an oven at home, and I think you need a lot of baby potatoes. So what's the next one? Yeah, chips. Who doesn't love chips? Raise your hands. Who loves chips? Say something.
Meow.
You guys love chips?
We love chips.
Yes.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with chips, especially when you are bored or need something to chew on.
What is this?
Okay, jacket potatoes.
Oh,
Jacket potatoes. Jacket potatoes are like, they are mashed and then reconstituted in this, potato. Usually it's cheese and meat. And this is potato soup. Pretty simple, but pretty nice to have on a cold day. And with some bread. I usually like it with garlic bread. I don't know why, but it's nice. What's the next one? Okay, I want to take a guess what this is.
I forgot what it's called, but
It's called aligot.
There we go. It's cheese, butter, potato.
Yep, and it's stretchy, and they usually eat it like this, or maybe with a steak or something. I forgot where's the origin. Okay, this one, everyone knows it. It's the famous breakfast food. Sorry?
yeah, hash browns.
Yep, hash browns, that's right. You know, the tricky thing about hash browns is that they are hard to cook. They tend to break down when you put them in the pan. And these are tater tots. I've tried doing tater tots, and I added spring onions, which made it taste nicer. I think it's the Asian version of tater tots, not the original one. You can usually find these at hotels. Okay, potato trivia. The word potato originates from the Spanish word patata, and it's like 80% water and 20% solids, which is why I always have to pee whenever I eat potato salad. There are 4,000 different types of potatoes in the world. And today is National Potato Day. So now you guys know.
For America. Yep. I mean,
for America.
The United States of America.
Yep. There's also another date that I found, but it's on October 27th. But they didn't state it which country.
Interesting.
Okay, so now you guys are equipped with good potato knowledge. Okay, so now it's time to share your favorite potato dish. Okay, who wants to go first?
Mashed potato. I'm a big
Can
fan.
you tell us why? Tell us
Oh,
why. Why do you like mashed
um,
potatoes?
because it's easy to make. It's one of the easier things that you can make with potatoes. Bleu bleu
Okay.
sotong can make one. Plus, the
Whoa.
easiest way to make mashed potatoes is milk, butter, salt, pepper. That's it.
We usually do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That is like the easiest way to make mashed potato.
Okay. So what about Aina?
Mine would be potato wedges with some
Mm.
cheese.
Ooh. So
Joyce, by the time
let.
they say, yeah, you're
Uh-huh.
making us hungry.
What? Sorry.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to make you hungry.
Or did you? Potato is my
No,
favorite thing. Literally, potatoes are my favorite. Like, you can do anything with it. It is delicious. It is a blank
It's
canvas, and
versatile.
if you ask me to pick between rice and potatoes, I will always pick potato.
Yes. Potatoes
I,
are like a staple, you know? It's almost similar to rice.
mm-hmm. It's a staple for South American people before they brought it to Europe. And then the Europeans called potatoes the devil's tomato for a while because they didn't know how to eat it. And and the thing about Europe is, I think there's a story about how they had to put the potatoes behind a fence to make it seem like the potato was a protected species
What?
to make the people want to steal some and eat it. Otherwise, the general population were like, "Ah, potato, devil's tomato. No, we don't like this." Potatoes are very interesting.
There's a lot of facts on potatoes, and it's a lot. You guys can Google on that if you guys are interested to know more about potatoes.
Potato facts.
So, yeah. So, that's the end of our Pecha Kucha.
Oh no, I still have mine.
No, not yet. Cat still have.
Nine. Okay, okay. We are ready. Okay, it's
Is
there,
it
right?
about cats?
Uh, nine. It is not about cats. Wait, I have to adjust this first. Let me just adjust my slide. I wish it's about cats. The thing that I'm doing is gonna have a name. Okay,
Inspo.
okay, okay. Huh.
Inspo.
Hi everyone, it's me, Sha. Thank you so much for keeping with us and being here on one of my favorite nerdy things to do called the Pecha Kucha. I am here to walk you through the thing we call inspiration porn. Nobody likes it. Nobody.
Why?
Aside from the fact that it's bad, not good, which is the name of a band which
Yeah.
has recently rediscovered its jazz voice, and also the adjective by which I classify this inspiration porn thing, you have to
Mm.
understand that inspiration porn is everywhere. Literally everywhere. I am here to tell you what it looks like, what it sounds like, why we don't like it, and why you should stop doing it. These short explanations are also good for you if you feel like you need to identify it in the wild. Sure, this is a picture of Link from Good Mythical Morning looking at a burger. But because memes, Link is embodying every able bodied person in desperate need of motivation, and the burger? The burger is all us disabled folks. We
Yeah, I
disabled
cannot see the
folks
screen.
are not
I cannot see the
burgers to be
screen.
consumed just because pre disabled folks can't be effed. We have feelings. So many feelings. Most of them predominantly bad because society likes to tell us we're not good enough. We're not normal. You may look perplexed, dumbfounded, bamboozled. But folks, you hear us, right? When you inspo porn us, you're basically dehumanizing us through objectification. We're no longer people to you, but pitiful creatures who managed to wake up this morning. Ain't that sad? So you can imagine just being outside amongst friends, or even by yourself, where some stranger sidles by you to tell you that you're so inspirational, you're so strong. For what? Getting out of the house? Living? What exactly? You're romanticizing trauma without acknowledging our actual struggles, which include stigma, social barriers, discrimination, and stares. I hate stares so much. I think the next time someone does that, I'm going to ask them for a 10 ringgit bank transfer for making their day better. Inspiration porn is taking an image or a story of a person with disability doing something totally normal, like shopping, hanging out at a bar, watching a movie, sitting at a cafe, casually reading a book while munching on a cookie. Oddly specific? It's like I've been there. Another example is ableism disguised as doing the public a benefit. This woman took up driving so she wouldn't be a burden. Is that how we as a cultural collective view people with disabilities? A burden? Are we not allowed to participate? To me, inspiration porn has the same energy as an angmo coming up to a non-angmo person and saying, "Wow, your English is so good." Like, okay, that's a lot demeaning, and we need to talk about why you found it in yourself to even say that. The only disability is a bad attitude, said Scott Hamilton, completely abled American figure skater. No, the only disability is the disability, which we have to live with, whether anyone else sees this or not. It doesn't make us any more resilient. I want you to ask yourself why you feel compelled to congratulate a person with disabilities for existing. Is it that you think us so pathetic that we shouldn't never be able to do anything? Actually, if you're a person who thinks anyone is beneath you, please leave. I think the phrase, "I would die if," being often directed to us. Do the people asking this not realize that they have so far devalued our existence just because they cannot fathom being us? Would they then just roll over and die if they woke up disabled the next day? Disability is often seen as tragic, something to pity. That the disability is because of some ancestral curse, the sins of the father, a punishment for past transgressions. And disabled people do things despite this great setback. Woe is us. No, do not, don't even, absolutely not. We did not evolve to where we are after generations through wars, through agricultural revolutions, through industrial revolutions, to having a telescope in space taking pictures to blame disability on spiritual woo woo. As with disabilities, we absolutely can be proud of what we've achieved, and you can absolutely also congratulate us. We love getting big props for our accolades and the things we work hard towards that actually matters. What's going on, champions? What we don't want to see is applause, cheers, putting us on a pedestal, and congratulations for just people doing normal people stuff. When you see us in this objectified way, you don't allow us to just be alive. Look, I'm glad you all find us, me included, amazing human beings capable of bringing entire nations to its knees with a simple smile and breath. But honestly, it would be nice to just exist without needing to be on for a while. So now that you know what inspiration porn is and what it looks like, I know deep within my heart of hearts that you'll stop doing it. Stop it. All I ask is if you see someone else do it to a person with disabilities, stop them. Stop them real hard. Stop them. There it is. It's done. We are not burgers. That's true. Okay, that is the end of the Pecha Kucha. The reason why I picked inspiration porn is because we have a lot of issues with it. One of the things that I want to talk about is recently Joyce did an article about inspiration porn. No, sorry, about herself. And somebody commented. What did they comment, Joyce?
Not somebody, a lot of people commented.
A lot of people.
Resort. Oh yeah.
Mostly, mostly about how inspiring it is to live my life. Problem is, if you were to be able to live my life, I don't think you would want to choose to live it. So I don't think that as inspiring.
I mean,
That is
here's
not the definition of inspiring.
it. It's a problem because, like I mentioned in the Pecha Kucha, it's not seeing us as human beings. It's seeing us as objects. Something pitiful instead of just another person,
Like a burger.
like a burger. Well,
So I don't know what to say, but I don't know. I just find it I know I'm kind of like annoyed with the comments because I'm like, dude, you don't even know the reality of living a life like that.
it's because they don't want to. They don't see anything beyond, oh, kasiyan, so sad, so difficult, so hard. And I'm like, no, no, it is not about whether or not it's difficult. We still have to live. What I don't
Yeah.
like is, random people coming up to you and saying how strong you are. Like, it's just me outside. There's nothing special about that.
That's
Like,
the way how people tend to perceive us.
yeah, it's because the perception. Again, tying it all back to personhood. Who is allowed to be a person? In our case, more often than not, we have had our agency taken away from us from people who view us as lesser than. Because in society, if we look at religion, if we look at just general stuff, they always view disabled people as a punishment. That's not true. A punishment to whom?
To the family, they usually say,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you know,
usually to the family.
why? Like, why would a kind and generous, omnipotent God force hell on a person through somebody else? Like, it's so mean. It's like spiteful. Anyway, how we view it, how this a lot of countries, not just us, view it is very problematic. And uh, next time we will be talking about models of disability and how I think that we should go ahead with the identity model of disability instead of everything else. We'll go in depth with that next time. If does anybody have anything to add? Because I think it's a good time to sort of stop talking and rest for a while.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed both of your first Pecha Kuchas. We used to have parties for Pecha Kuchas, like the nerdiest parties. It's so fun. And it's random stuff. Somebody came up and spoke about Warhammer 40K and painting miniatures. And it's really fun just to see everybody's interests. And I hate to sort of sequester that fun time to talk about something so serious as inspiration porn. But yeah, there it is. Thank you everybody for watching. If you're watching this on the VOD, thank you for being here. Also, there will be a giveaway based on a notebook that I'm making for spinal muscular atrophy that will be coming out on Monday. Uh, and it will go to people in Malaysia who Like, subscribe, follow, and comment on the YouTube video. We will see you there. Thank you again. Goodbye.